I'll tell you one thing for sure. For a jack, if you want to learn how to shoot one of these guns, you get you a 45. That's a pretty big, healthy round. Pretty big round. Knock a beer can down at 50 yards if you want to. Shoot a little iron target called a round, about 300 yards out. Fourth shot. 300 yards with this. Try it. Try it. There's got to be a reason. And that's because I think lightweight, balanced, easy to handle, nice, easy, smooth pulling trigger. This one here is got the fast draw target practice, quick action trigger, and this right here, the hammer is wide and flat. You can get it pretty easy. Cock it. Pop it down at the same time you're holding the hammer. That will cock it, and it'll release your thumb down here so that you can squeeze off the round. If your thumb's not up here in the way where you can kind of see your target. And then you squeeze off the round. You don't just jerk the trigger back like that. You just gently squeeze off the round. And you have to cock this again, pull this back, and then squeeze. This is a single action. Single action means you can't just pull the trigger. It will not go. It will not go if you just pull the trigger. It's a single action, which is single. Pull this down, then squeeze your trigger. All right, we got 5 rounds in here. It's a six rounds. Keep this on the empty chamber, so if somebody bumps it, it don't fire. You also got to be careful and have this in secure holster like this, so it won't fall out. This pistol won't fall out in normal conditions. So if you're going to train some horses, you get some horses that are good stout quarter horses that are about 2 years old, and you ride them about 2 hours. You don't ride them all day long, and you get too hot. You don't want to get them too hot, or too tired. You got to ride them a couple hours and ride them easy. You don't want to push them. You don't want to make them run. It's not good for your horse's feet because they're holding you up, the saddle up, and you got to start them off easy and slow. And if they get about 3 years old, you can increase the distance. And then when they get 4 years old, they're pretty much grown and they're ready to start going fast, chasing calves and roping. They're at you probably from 3 years old up to 4. You've got them trained to back up, put the rope down there on the calf, and the horse backs up to keep the rope tight while you're running down there, grabbing the little calf and tying him up. So it involves a lot of work training a horse. And when you start your training program, you will see exactly what I'm talking about. Some horses are more difficult to train than others. And sometimes you have to change your technique a little bit in order to overcome a horse that is complete rebellious. If he's complete rebellious, it's going to take a lot longer to get him trained. So if you're having uh, trouble figuring something out, you need to talk to an experienced horse trainer that's been there and done that. Find out what they do for certain areas of training. One thing that I have learned is that most people do not know how to train a young horse to get in the trailer. You get ready to go somewhere, you want the horse to walk over and just jump in the trailer. That's what you have to train them to do. It takes a while to show that little horse what you're wanting him to do. You can't just force him in the trailer because he's going to be thinking, I get my neck stretched, I get my ass whipped. Every time they want me to get in the trailer, I get my ass whipped and my neck stretched. I don't want to get in that trailer. So you can't train them to not want to get in the trailer. You have to know how to train the horse to where he wants to get in the trailer. So, same way with the saddle. You have to train the horse to want to get under saddle. Because life is so good when he's got a companion and a rider that treats him good, and feeds him good, and waters him good, and lets him go places. When he's under saddle, he gets to go places. He gets to drink good water along the way. He gets treated good. So if you're getting on your young horse and you go to whipping on them and you go to jerking their neck around, like that kid from Australia, he says, you pull his neck down, you pull his neck nose down to your foot. Pull his nose down to your foot. Pull his nose down to your foot. That's about the stupidest damn thing I ever seen. He's not be out there an hour doing that. That poor horse. I feel sorry for his horses. This Australian dude. Yeah, I'd help him. I mean, he charges people a lot of money to come down there and go to his school, learn how to train horses. He's got some crazy ideas, I'm telling you right now. Crazy ideas. And I realize a few of his ideas do work. A few of his ideas are so outrageously stupid, it's pathetic. I would not send my kid down there to learn his program. But anyway, if you want a good, solid, honest colt trained, you get hold of me. I've got room for one horse right now for 90 days. And then I should have room for another horse in 90 days. So I train for 90 days. I get $6,000. If you can't afford $6,000, don't bother to call. So I'm not working for free and I'm not working cheap. If you want a horse, you can ease the saddle on, ease the bridle on, step up in the saddle and ride him off, step off of him, walk him in your trailer. Call me. If you want a horse that you can't catch, that you can't put a saddle on, that you can't get in the trailer, you call the other guy that trains them for $1,000 a month. You call him. That's what you'll get. A horse that will not load in the trailer, a horse that pitches your ass off when you get on him, and a horse that don't want to cooperate with anything you try and get him to do. These people are got a lot of nice fancy advertising in a nice location, big nice corral and little barn, nice little stack alfalfa hay out there. But when you get back out there, you'll notice that little pretty little stack alfalfa hay still there. You know why? Because he hasn't fed your horse. Your horse is hungry. He's been there 2 weeks, nothing to eat, very little to drink, because he's too lazy to bring water to the pen. I'm telling you right now, you need to hire somebody that's going to take care of your horses and train them correctly. And it's going to cost you some money, but it's going to be worth it, because you're going to have a good horse that you can ride, that you can load in the trailer, and you'll be proud to own. So I'm just telling you right now, if you got $6,000 and you got 3 months, I put 90 days of training on a good colt. And if he's not a good quality colt, I'll just tell you to come get him. You know, if you can't bring me a good quality colt with, quarter horse, it can't be no half Arabian or half thoroughbred or something. I don't train half thoroughbred, half Arabian, half anything else. They got to be full-blooded quarter horse, and they got to be good quality horses. You know why? 'Cause I don't want to waste my time. You got these shooting classes where you go to class and you take these and okay, and you get out there and you shoot at targets and you quick draw and you shoot at targets and you quick draw and shoot at targets. The main thing is don't cock this thing back and think about squeezing this trigger until you get this out there away from you and aimed at your target. Then you put your finger in the correct position to shoot. Cock your back, aim, and then squeeze off the round. You go slow and easy until you learn how to handle these. And you have a good solid holster like this to put it in that fits. It's not going to fall out. So there's one thing about being a cowboy is if you can get the right banking institution behind you, you can buy your own ranch and you can train a lot of horses and you can make a lot of money. But you've got to get these bankers on your side. And you got to find a Western bank. I'm talking about cowboy owned. Somebody likes buying cattle and buying horses and buying ranches. So right now I'm trying to find a place that's available, like it's got a good clean cabin. It's got a corral, a riding arena, and some stalls and a little barn to put feed in. So it'll keep my feed dry, not rained on. You can't feed wet hay, rained on hay to your horses. They'll colic and die. You got to treat your horses with respect and feed them dry hay. If you feed them enough that they'll eat it, come back and feed them another little block and they'll eat that. Don't leave it laying there in the rain and it gets wet and expect your horse to eat it. Go get him some dry hay and feed him. So I'm looking for a place in South Texas that I can train horses all year. So if anybody's got a place they're not using, they've got a barn, a house, corral, you got electricity, you got water. I mean, I don't live out there like a hermit, no water, no electricity and stuff. Place I can train some horses. Uh, I can't afford to pay you money. I wasn't born with money. I don't have any money. I just got some want to. I want to train some horses. That's about all I've got, some want to. So got a place you're not using, a place to train horses. know that's kind of a crazy request. I'm not going to pay you nothing per month, but I need a place to train horses. That's kind of crazy. But anyway, there's a lot of people that just want their place protected. Somebody that would protect their property and their cattle and their surroundings. And I will do that. I will protect your property, your cattle, and your surroundings where I'm at. I will protect your ranch. Since you want to move to town, live the luxurious life of in-town living, that your ranch house is available and your barn is available and your arena is available for training horses. I need a place to go. This is 2021. This is March the 1st. So I'm going to try and get moved in before summer sets in good. Now, if you've got young colts who want trained, knock that price down to $5,000 for three colts. That would cost you $15,000 for three colts to get trained at the same time. I've trained three colts, 90 days for $15,000, and that's if you've got a ranch house, a corral, a barn, and everything I need with a little bit of alfalfa hay to feed them. That's what I'll do. $15,000 for 90 days. If you like the way I run my program and you want me to stay on another 90 days, that is good. I like to have a year-round deal. Training horses. That's all I do. I don't go patch fence. I don't go chase cows out there in the middle of nowhere. I do my deal, and nobody bosses me around. Nobody bosses me around. That's it. That's the only rule I've got. No boss. Requests, great, but no boss. If you're a bossy son of a gun, you're a smart aleck son of a bitch, I wouldn't go to work for you no way in hell. So just write that down. I'm not interested in working for so smart mouth, rude anybody. I don't give a damn how much money you got. I'd rather work for free for an old boy that's a good old boy and he buys a cold beer once in a while. It's somebody that's a smart ass, rude dude with a big checkbook. That's what it is. So you got to respect people. Even people that's working for you, you have to respect them and give them their space. You can't push them around and expect them to stay and work very long. You give people their space and respect. And I know that's very difficult. People are born with a golden tooth in their mouth and they've never had to work a day in their life for their money. They was handed a bank load of money when they were born. They're usually arrogant, rude, obnoxious, and they really don't care if they hurt your feelings or not. I don't need to work for somebody like that. So it'd be good if I had a place to train horses, a place to live that's not too cold through the winter. I don't want to live in Nebraska or Minnesota or Montana, some of them snow-covered places like Denver. It could get snow on the ground 6-8 inches deep. I don't want to be treading snow to get to my horses to feed them. So there's bound to be a place out there somewhere, preferably somewhere in South Texas. It could be the middle of the country, like Brady, Caldwell, uh, even Pecos might not be too bad, but Pecos is a pretty small town. I do like the pretty girls, so I don't want to get in too small a town where there's not some pretty girls around. I like to go dancing. I like to I like to drink cold beer, and I like to dance with pretty women. A lot of them. So I'm not real particular about how rich they are. As long as they got enough money to get there, I'm usually buying the beer. So that's just the way it is. I'm usually buying the beer. So if anybody's expecting me to not to get paid, you're wrong. I usually get paid in advance. So I got money to buy beer with while I'm there. I'm not working for nobody for free for 5 months and expect to get paid later. That's not going to cut it. You're going to pay me when I get there and hope you like the job I do. So I guarantee you one thing that, um, you know, I don't really know how to go about finding a place like that. Somebody out there might know about training horse facility that's available. It's got to be clean. I don't want a junkyard to live in. I want a nice, clean place that's got, um, where I go to work on the horses. I don't have to go to work on the property, trying to get the water to run or the electricity to work or something like that. I want everything working when I get there. So it's a big request, but you have rules and regulations. Sometimes you got to know what you want in life. We're going to call it a day and try and get back maybe manana, just in case. Got this right here. This right here. And this one over here. And you got two ways of protection in case if some badass shows up. Experienced, buddy. I'm experienced with these. Don't be stealing my horses. Don't be stealing the man's cattle. And don't come in here mouthing off. There's rules and regulations at this outfit. And the main rule is respect people on this property. These are fully loaded.